Water is a huge issue here up on the mountain. Either you have way too much or you have just plain not enough. Last year for our garden, we hauled water in 5-gallon buckets from this stream to the garden, and it threw my arm out. It was the hardest summer I think I've ever spent. We were just exhausted trying to barely keep our garden alive. Last summer, it took us 2 hours every single day to water our garden. All of us working really hard to make it happen. And in the end, yeah, we got some food out of it, and we had some really nice salads. But it was a disappointment because it just was so hard. We wondered whether it was worth it. Our water situation is a little different this year, so we decided to try again. And about a week before we decided to plant our garden, my cousin sent me a link to Back to Eden garden. We watched it and we were moved and we thought it made a lot of sense, so we implemented it. It is a little bit of work to get it going, but it has changed the way we view gardening. And it's only the very 1st of July, which up here is the beginning of growing season really, and it's exciting what's happening in our garden, so I want to show you how we're gardening this year. So it's up this path. Why don't you come with me and I'll show you. Welcome to the Mountain Teepee Retreat, our home, and I'm going to take you on a tour of our garden. I'm going to show you the Back to Eden garden that we have planted this year. We've implemented the garden and it's been amazing. This is our upper terrace. And these are our peas. I have not watered our peas this year other than to get them started. And these are my cabbages. And I have green and red cabbage. I love cooking with cabbage. I started everything from seed. I got all my heirloom seeds from Baker Seed Company, rareseeds.com. Love them. And growing your plants from seed up here on the mountain is a little tricky because the weather is completely nuts. It's freezing much of the year. And so my husband built me some cold frames. So I moved the seeds in and out every single night. And they kept warm during the day in the cold frames and warm in the teepee at night. So that was pretty tricky, but we did it. And now I'm going to take you down the trail to our main garden. Here's my cherry tomatoes, my ground cherry tomatoes. And if you've never tried ground cherry tomatoes, they make an awesome salsa. You will love them. But this is what I want to show you. Look at this. These are my potatoes. And look at them. Unbelievable. They're big. Last year they only got to like 3 inches tall and then they died. I have no potato bugs. There's virtually nothing going wrong with my plants here. They're doing awesome. Last year they got maybe 2 inches, 3 inches tall and then they just keeled over. But this year my beets are doing awesome. My husband loves beets, so I'll have a good harvest this year. And here's my carrots. There are so many carrots and we've already thinned and they're getting so big. I am just amazed. We're going to cover the carrots with straw and a little plastic, and we'll have carrots all winter until the spring. Same with the parsnips, in fact. And I don't know how cabbage grows. I don't know quite what it looks like, but this is my cabbage. Here is my spinach. And this spinach tastes, it actually tastes. I made lasagna the other night with it and for Shabbat, and it was just amazing. The leaves are thick, they have flavor. That's the thing about this, is this food has flavor. It actually tastes nothing like the store, and even some of the organic produce doesn't taste this good. And then my sunflowers, I'm actually gonna have sunflowers this year. Last year my sunflowers did horrible. I have my strawberries unfortunately covered right now because the bunnies came in yesterday and started munching on my strawberries. Leaves, I guess. Here's my onions. And I want to show you the ground. This is wood chips. So you don't till, you just put a couple inches of compost down on top of your soil, and then you put quite a bit of wood chips on top, a few inches or more. I think we did more. And then you part the wood chips and you plant your seeds in the compost, and then you water till they come up, and then when they come up you move your wood chips back to the base of the plant, and it can handle it. And when it's strong enough to handle the wood chips near it, and the wood chips will actually soak in the rain, soak in the water when it doesn't need it, and it will release water when it needs it. So basically, dig down to the compost, and then I put a little more compost in. So I put a little bit more compost in. Make sure it's a little bit loose under there, because this is our first year. So hopefully next year there'll be lots of aeration under there. Then you part this, and you put a little water in, and you put your pepper in. Pat it down, and then you move your wood chips. See, this is a strong plant, so you can move your wood chips. And there you have it. Nice and done. Oh, here's my kale. Look at that, isn't that pretty? Looks like a forest in there. This is my lettuce, and my lettuce is actually heading this year. I've never had lettuce head. This year I'm going to have lettuce that has heads. So I'm going to take you now down to the lower terrace. Beautiful. A lot of salads in the summer, that's for sure. A little olive oil, garlic and salt and pepper, it's yummy. There's been no weeds whatsoever. So here's my Cherokee beans. And my husband built me a nice little teepee for them to grow on. Isn't that pretty? And then I want to show you my tomatoes over here. Look at my tomatoes. These are frames that he built me so that in the fall we can put plastic over it to hopefully get red tomatoes this year. We had a lot of green ones last year, but I think the plants are doing awesome. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. And here my squash. My squash was an issue last year. Squash did not like being up here on the mountain. It's a tough environment to live in, not only for plants, but for us as well, people. It's basically a 9-month winter with 3 months of something like summer. And look at that, I'm so excited. It was a brilliant idea to seek Yehovah, the Creator, and find out from Him what possibly we could do to make our gardens weed-free and make them better. We live up here on the side of a mountain in the rough weather of North Idaho with too much snow, way too much rain, not enough sun, extreme cold, and extreme heat. And to ask our Creator how to garden with very little water, and to look to the forest to figure it out, how to have no weeds. It was just brilliant. Back to Eden's approach of asking our Creator how to do this speaks to my heart, because that's how I live. Elohim is my very breath I breathe. They are my provision, and they've been my provision through everything I've gone through and everything that I will go through in the future. So come back for some more tours of a mountain teepee retreat. Off-grid living for the rest of us who can't afford wells and greenhouses and plane tickets to tropical places when it gets too cold. But for those who are living with the Creator being their very provision, the very breath they breathe. I have much more to show you, so come back. Until then, may Yehovah bless you and keep you unto the return of the good King.